Man, have I had a lot of requests for this one. This is a 208 BHS Apex Nano here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And there is no shortage to how smart of a camper this thing is. They nailed it. They straight nailed it. It's basically a 193 on steroids. It's a narrow body, tandem axle with double bunks, a walk-around bed, a dinette slide, under 4,000 pounds. Holy crap! That's an impressive list of things. Also, outside kitchen, AZDEL, power awning with LED lighting. I mean, the list just keeps going. And it's a very cool offset to something like the Winnebago 2306 BHS, which instead of an outside kitchen has a fancy corner shower. So they kind of play off one another in interesting ways, and they're each different and each awesome in their own respectful rights. Now, one quick note. This is probably not how most of the 208 Apexes are going to look here at Haylett RV this year. Apex called us. We had several coming in with the Summit package, which has a beautiful windshield with nose cap, or pardon me, nose cap with windshield. But this one was open and available immediately, and we said this is going to be a popular one. Get it to us now. So there's going to be some differences maybe between what we have in stock here and what we might have in stock later. Man, I tell you, they nailed this thing. Even with the slide closed here, you've got super easy access to everything. You can obviously walk through here, no sweat whatsoever. You can get to the big double door 6 cubic foot fridge, which is just rocking in a price sensitive little camper. Bunks, storage, easy to access, bathrooms easy to get to, and even the big sort of centralized linen cabinet, pantry, whatever you want it to be. You can get to every darn thing in this camper with that slide out close. They nailed this thing. And this camper, good grief, they nailed it. They nailed so many things. The purpose of this camper is to be something that kind of bridges the gap between the 193 Apex, which has a dinette slide like this, but a sideways bed and 2 single bunks, and a 245 Apex, which is has a bigger slide, double bunks, and an outside kitchen. This it's flawless in the execution, in their goal, in what they were trying to find. First of all, I love the fact that we've got a longer 80-inch bed on this. I absolutely love that in a small camper. This is small camping done well. You've got, that means more storage below the bed as well. Plywood deck base below that bed. We've got our full-length hanging closets on both sides of the bed. And this is made with all pocket screw cabinetry and nicer hardwood cabinet door frames. Something that's going to hold up and last longer. And in terms of service records, Apex rivals Winnebago in the quality of service records that we see here at Haylett RV. We just don't see them back for work. They just stay in your driveway. Now, a lot of little campers in this category, they'll have an overhead shelf, if anything, above the bed, and you maintain full cabinets here. Because, again, they do everything that matters in these guys. We've got like a full-size air conditioner, not a small little side mount air. You can turn this thing into an ice box if you want. And if you're cooking up a storm or you just want some extra airflow, their vent here in the kitchen living shared space, it actually does have a power fan to help exhaust some of that extra heat. And it will be extremely effective in doing so because this does have a vaulted interior ceiling. It is laminated on about a 2-inch arch to give you that extra space and capacity. Well, I mean, case in point, I'm 6'2", 3", and I can stand directly under the lowest thing here in the living room and never hit my head. This is one of those campers that I could very easily see myself in with my family. This is, if I was going to get a small, budget-conscious laminated camper, which is, I tend to be very simplistic in my needs. I camp simple. This is camping done right here. Like from the bigger air conditioner, the longer bed, the fact that we've got 30-30-30 holding tanks, fresh gray black 30 gallons, and that in conjunction with things like the nicer LED lights to help you sip off your capacities when you are at your destination. If you're boondocking, this is an awesome boondocking camper. So in addition to the bunk space, if you need it, you'll find if we take a look that the dinette can also fold down into a sleeper. So you can maintain, like, I don't know, an extra 7th person sleeping space if need be. Now, there is storage below both sides of that dinette as well. Now, when we do get our Summage package version of this in stock, I'm probably going to keep this footage and I'm going to kind of splice them together a little bit so that you can get an idea of how the one relates to the other. But look at this. Not every brand will do this. On this radius edge here, look at the tight fit and finish on this. It's flawless in what they're doing. And doing radius work on a cabinetry like that in a mass production scenario is very difficult. Another thing they've done well here, they didn't waste any storage space. Again, taking a look up top, you can see we've got that full overhead cabinet area, because as we come down to take a look at the lower cabinet space, which is pretty impressive in its own right, you see they did something very intelligent here. This is a small camper, and it's appointed incredibly intelligently by putting the microwave down where you would expect to see the oven. They've made it easier to reach for the kids, because this is a bunkhouse, probably with a bunch of kids laying around. And it looks normal. It looks organic, but it means that you have maximum overhead cabinet space here. So it's incredibly intelligent decision-making process that goes into this. Now you've got a simple but effective entertainment system over here. Bluetooth stereo system that you can link to your phone and control remotely from your phone. So it's really cool if you're outside to be able to operate that right from there. Now your sink here, they use a split big small sink, and this is done again for dry camping purposes. If you're at a park, you want to do dishes or something, you've got all the water in the world basically, you can go ahead and use the big sink. If you're dry camping though, boondocking, you want to sip the tank and not gulp it, so you're going to use that smaller vessel over there. Now again, big camper features in a little camper like a full 2-door 6 cubic foot refrigerator freezer. And I have a suspicion that a lot of folks are going to miss or not appreciate the size of that full 2-door fridge because it is mounted low to the ground. And that's actually a visual gimmick some manufacturers will use. They'll install a normal fridge higher up to give it the appearance of a bigger fridge. They're not trying to trick you into buying this camper. They're trying to give you maximum function out of it, which is why they don't waste the space above the fridge for storage either. Now, if we take a look over here, this has another one of my favorite features, is the flip-up cargo bunk right there. So, obviously, you've got all kinds of, well, hold on, let me kind of back up a little bit. I guess to say, obviously, you've got a double over double bunk scenario right here for sleeping purposes. But whether you're in transit or if you're stuck inside on a rainy day, you kind of expand the floor space a little bit here, and especially little kids, they can have themselves their own neat little play corner in there. And they can help open up some of the floor space by not occupying quite so much of it. Now, here's another neat thing. I actually popped up here and I opened this up, and first of all, you see nicer plywood decking, but any skeleton work that you're going to see in this, you can see it's all aluminum framed. This is made to last, guys. It's funny because at a glance, Apexes don't look like the flashiest camper necessarily, but they are incredibly well built and they do hold up, and they've been, we don't see problems with them. So over here, this is going to be our TV location, which I think is way better than some of the other ones that I've seen, even within the Apex family. This is a very intelligent location, and you got your TV hookups there. You can hook the TV against the wall, and then we've got this sort of centralized pantry linen cabinet. You can kind of flex between the two and do whatever you need whenever you need it. Now over here in the main bathroom area, something I didn't mention in the kitchen or the dining area is that all of the counters or tabletops are what's called thermofoil. They're a sealed edge pressed membrane, and basically that means water can't penetrate that thing. You're going to have to damage it to let water into that. And around high water sources or potential spill areas like the dining area, I think that's a nice longevity item. And again, that's kind of who these guys are. They're simple where they should be and fancy where they could be. And that's one of the areas that they could be. So we do have a ventilating fan and skylight in here so that this bathroom does light up nicely. A foot flush stool with enough legroom for even a big fellow like me. And you may have noticed how we also have a medicine cabinet, not just a cheap mirror glued to the wall waiting to fall down the next time the camper gets warm outside. Even without the nose cap and windshield, that Summit package, this thing looks awesome. It's just awesome. The decals and everything have such a good definition and color contrast that they look three-dimensional. They look like they're projecting off the skin. It looks amazing. Let's take a look over here. One of the things I want to point out here, and it's very uncommon, is the awning and patio lighting package on all Apex models. If we take a look, you can actually see that it has blue LED lights under the awning and matching blue lights under the on the bottom of the speakers themselves, and they light up like a Christmas tree at night. Now on our main entry door, we've got this bigger entry handle right here, and you can see that we've got the easier dual entry steps for coming and going. But what's also cool is the door is strutted. so that it's not going to slam open against the side of the camper. Now, it is also very intelligent. If you decide to take that strut off, the door can open all the way without hitting the awning, which is another intelligent feature. One of the biggest things to talk about on the Coachmen Ultralites here at Haylett RV is AZDEL. And you can kind of see it right here. It's the white stuff right there. And if you're not familiar with AZDEL, let me give you a quick primer on it. Basically, instead of Luan wood paneling directly under the fiberglass in the laminated walls of this camper, it has that material AZDEL. It's primarily melted pop bottles, but the material itself cannot rot, mold, mildew. It's lighter weight, has a sound dampening quality to it. It also has a slightly better insulative quality to it, though I've never seen like really in-depth reports on indicating how much of a difference that makes. Simple side mount solar prep, again for boondocking. You can have the portable panels, which those are very handy because you can kind of, quote, chase the sun a little bit, and a very large front storage compartment under that big long bed with a wide baggage door that can easily handle big like zero gravity folding chairs. Now, this is a narrow body camper, and that means that it's easier to see around in transit. It improves your visibility, it reduces headwinds, it sits lower to the ground, and it rides on a custom engineered chassis that keeps it lower to the ground still. But notice they still put the double step on it for easy come and go. All of our windows are UV tinted, and that helps improve your privacy and keep the heat down in the camper, obviously. And any window you're going to find on this is going to open for ventilation. The slide system itself is self-adjusting every time you fully open or close the slide. It'll go through a very brief self-adjustment phase to make sure it always comes in and out square, and to make sure the water stays out of this thing, they use a very textured slide wall here so that it really grabs those slide seals and lets them do the job they're supposed to do. So tandem axles will generally feel nicer behind a vehicle because it means the trailer is less inclined to sway and wiggle. And this is one of the shortest tandem axle bunkhouses you can really even find on the market. So, I mean, this thing is going to, between the narrow body, under 4,000 pounds, tandem axles, it's going to be a tower and a goer, guys. Now, you might also notice, again, fancy where they could be, and that's the black tank flush and outside utility shower here. Everything that matters is done. I love that accent colored rear wall. It helps, again, give it that three-dimensional look and nature. And I also appreciate the fact that this does include a spare tire on the back. And I point that out because in the category of camper in which we're looking currently, you're going to find a lot of very inexpensive cutthroat built stuff, and they will do things like not include spare tires sometimes. I hope you never need the spare tire on this camper. But just like health insurance and cough medicine, I sure hope you got it when you do need it. And this is really the thing that took it over the top for me, is they found a way to include a form of an outside kitchen here. So you've got the 2 cubic foot refrigerator right here to keep your drinks outside. So in total, this has 8 cubic foot of cold storage, which is awesome in this size camper. Now, more of that thermal foil counter stuff, handy little just corner prep spot right there, and more plywood drawers, so that you've got a nice little place for little things. But they don't use RBQ grills really at Coachmen. Instead, they use the nicer Coleman camp grills. And these are actual grills, and they're a high output grill, so a gentle breeze can't cause the flame to flicker and potentially blow out. And it's fully free floating. So if you do want to just move it to the picnic table or move it somewhere else, you can. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Even the little things like they use nicer bumper end caps on here, which a lot of people use for sewer hose storage, but just to keep the hose in there and not wiggling out. I couldn't be happier with this thing. I just couldn't. They have absolutely 100% nailed the execution of this model, and there are going to be a lot of people who maybe are a little bit intimidated by a big camper, but they've got a family that needs to go camping, and this is going to serve them so well. So with that, give us a call, guys. We do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between, except for hidden fees. Those we don't do. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.